dating someone, so don't take it out on me. Those guys helped blow it up. Then we had to get it here. Then Brian and Jim and a couple of the other guys stuck it out and stayed here, and we were joined by the crew of the Grove. Phil's the head over here in the corner, raising his hand. He couldn't have helped more with the pad. This thing had to be permanently mounted on a steel base that had never been fabricated before, because the tree goes up and over. So everything worked out, and it couldn't have been done just by me. It was a big help for my old friends and new friends here at the Grove. So I'd like you all guys thank you. And Lauren, the executive director here, who has always come to the other events. I really appreciate what you did and what Michael did. It was up earlier. It was those two and us getting together, having meetings and figuring out how can we have the realistic 16-foot trail marker tree based on the trees from our county be in one of the nicest settings in our county. And I couldn't be happier that it's here. And when I'm saying Cook County and Lake County being important, it's not just because I grew up here. It's because we have the longest recorded historical facts documented about the use of the trail trees here in Illinois than anywhere else in the country, going back to 1832 in the federal surveys. And after those records, it went on to different organizations. The Kennicott family here, and I'm glad Dan Malone touched on it. Robert Kennicott actually worked with the local Potawatomi. I mean, that is so cool for the Grove to be able to say that they got along together, that they went on research trips together. He collected specimens of animals and birds, was given a Potawatomi name. So there was a bond there. So for us to know he knew what the trees meant is really special to this day and to this particular space. Later, Donald Culrose Petey, a Harvard graduate, a naturalist, an author of the books of, an author of the trees of our region, wrote about the bur oaks being used as portage markers to get between the rivers and lakes of our area. What we're dedicating today are the trees that once marked the portage route from the Des Plaines River to the North Branch of the Chicago River. So it's completely wonderful to have that type of documentation here today. And that's actually what is on the plaque. There's a bronze plaque by the tree that commemorates those people. Later, the famous landscape architect, Jens Jansen, gave a speech in 1911 in Chicago, commemorating and specifying the importance of these landmarks. It was my privilege, after the book came out, to start to even meet more Native Americans. That's when I had the privilege of meeting Hilda. She saw an interview, a video on television about me. It triggered her memory. We organized a meeting, and we were able to later prove that her father actually came with Dr. Raymond Jansen from Northwestern, whose footsteps I followed in. They came together and went through Cook and Lake County, and in the upstairs room, there's a little photograph of her father under the Glenview tree. One of the five that would have been here, he's actually in the photograph. So to have factual documentation is important, and I couldn't be happier. Dr. Jansen also worked at the Field Museum in the 20s and 30s for 11 years. He went to 13 states over a 10-year period. It's when I saw his research as a young man, I decided I'd go everywhere he went and then try to take the study on from there. So the sculpture, just so you all understand, it's hard resin and steel. It's an educational reminder of this part of the Native American history of our area. And the Grove, again, has played a huge part in hosting this event and the exhibit educationally that's been going on for almost 2 decades. So I couldn't be happier, and I'm really pleased that all of you took the time to come to this event. So thanks again.